Welcome back to Mysteries Within, where we unravel the stories hidden in the shadows. What if the photographs spreading across the internet aren't just random snapshots of men in hazmat suits, but the first visible proof that something extraordinary, maybe alien, has been discovered on Earth? Panama. A nation caught in the middle of a storm it never asked for. Viral images, shadowy figures in protective gear, and a strange black substance that seems to defy every law of nature we know. But here's the chilling question. Why Panama? Why now? And why are so many people convinced that what began with one man's discovery of a meteorite could become one of the most important or most dangerous events in human history? Stay with me, because tonight we dive deep into the unfolding story that has captured millions. The black goo, the hazmat suits, and the terrifying possibility of a cover-up. The photograph hit social media like a shockwave. Several individuals, faceless and anonymous in their bright yellow hazmat suits, standing silently at the entrance of a building in Panama, their hoods drawn tight, their breathing gear obscuring any trace of identity. At first glance, it could be dismissed as routine, medical, environmental, cleanup work. But context changed everything. This was Panama, the same country where a man named Chin claimed to have found a meteorite harboring something alien, something alive, something he had already shown the world in grainy but chilling footage, a black shifting goo locked away in a safe, writhing as though it had its own intelligence. And now, hazmat teams on the ground, at the very site where his discovery originated. Coincidence or confirmation? Theories exploded online, dividing the world into camps. Camp 1, the believers. To them, this was obvious proof that authorities were intervening to seize the meteorite. The hazmat suits were simply the uniforms of a larger operation, confiscation under the guise of safety. Camp 2, the technologists. They argue this is not a biological organism at all, but a form of nanotech. Alien matter capable of growing, adapting, and reshaping itself. To them, the suits were less about protection from infection, and more about securing something so revolutionary that governments would kill to control it. And Camp 3, the skeptics. They don't deny the photographs or even Chin's footage, but they insist that history has shown us how extraordinary discoveries vanish, that hazmat suits don't mean safety, they mean removal, a cover-up in plain sight. Take it, hide it, erase it from the record. And yet the debates only intensify, because this isn't the first time hazmat suits have been seen in Panama in recent weeks. 1 week earlier, another image surfaced. Different location, different team, same suits. At first, it was dismissed as medical or environmental work. But now, with the viral photo tied directly to Chin's meteorite discovery, the question could no longer be ignored. Was this coincidence? Or coordination? Were these suits part of a larger ongoing mission to track, contain, or extract the alien material? And if so, who was giving the orders? A national government? An international coalition? Or someone else entirely? The deeper you look, the darker it gets. Because rumors are now swirling that it isn't just Panama or Chin or a black goo meteorite anymore. Some whisper that what's happening in Panama is directly tied to older incidents. Famous cases that authorities have long tried to downplay. Cases like Roswell, 1947, the crash, the debris, the strange metals unlike anything humanity had ever seen. And just like in Panama today, hazmat teams then appeared. The debris was taken, the story changed, official explanations shifted, and all the while, the real truth was buried deeper and deeper. Could it be that history is repeating itself? Because even now, new evidence tied to Roswell has begun to resurface. A fragment, allegedly part of the material recovered in 1947, has been reignited in debate after tests revealed structures so unusual, some say it carries the unmistakable fingerprint of a technology beyond Earth. Sound familiar? It should. Because the black goo in Panama may just be another chapter in the same book. Different continent, different decade, same mystery. And just as it was then, the suits are back. The secrecy is back. And once again, humanity is left asking, what is really being hidden from us? As the world watches Panama, the parallels to Roswell become impossible to ignore. In 1947, military personnel descended on a remote ranch in New Mexico. They collected every piece of a strange, lightweight material that couldn't be burned, dented, or broken. The official story changed from flying disc to weather balloon in less than 24 hours. The men who handled the debris wore protective gear. Sound familiar? They gathered the evidence, swore witnesses to secrecy, and the material vanished into the classified vaults of history. For decades, it was a story whispered in hushed tones, a conspiracy theory. But now, with the Panama incident unfolding in real time, the Roswell case doesn't seem so distant. The tactics are the same: identify, contain, and conceal. It's a playbook written long ago, now being used again under the glare of social media. This isn't just about a strange substance in a safe or a crash in the desert. It's about a pattern of behavior. When something truly anomalous appears, the first response isn't public disclosure. It's a silent, coordinated effort to control the narrative. The hazmat suits aren't just for protection. They are a symbol of a quarantine, not just of a physical substance, but of information itself. The yellow suits in Panama today are the modern-day equivalent of the military trucks that rolled out of Roswell in 1947. They are a visual signal that something is being taken out of public view, forever. Think about it. If this was just a simple meteorite, why the secrecy? Why the biohazard protocols for what should be a sterile rock from space? The answer may lie in the nature of the substance itself. Chin's footage showed the black goo reacting, moving, almost as if it was aware of its surroundings. The theories about nanotechnology are gaining ground because this behavior doesn't align with any known biology. Nanotechnology, microscopic machines capable of self-replication and complex tasks, would be the single greatest technological leap in human history. It could build anything, cure any disease, or become the most devastating weapon ever conceived. An alien nanotech would be a prize beyond measure, something no single government would ever want to share. So, the men in suits might not be afraid of getting sick. They might be there to secure a technology that could change the world overnight. They are the gatekeepers to a new era, and their mission is to make sure that gate remains firmly shut to the public. But let's consider the darkest possibility. What if it's both? What if it's an alien biological organism that functions like nanotechnology? A life form that can deconstruct and reconstruct matter at a molecular level. This brings us back to the most fundamental question: why the cover-up? If this is proof of extraterrestrial life, wouldn't it be the greatest announcement in history? Perhaps not. Perhaps the discovery isn't a friendly one. The hazmat suits might be a desperate attempt to contain something that our science cannot understand and our defenses cannot stop. The secrecy isn't to hide a treasure. It's to prevent a global panic. They aren't trying to keep a discovery from us. They're trying to keep us from a threat. From the deserts of New Mexico to the streets of Panama, the story remains the same. An extraordinary event occurs. Witnesses see something inexplicable. And then the figures in official gear arrive to clean up. Not just the physical evidence, but the story itself. The Roswell incident was buried under decades of official denials and classified documents. Will the Panama incident suffer the same fate? Or will the power of the internet and citizen journalism finally break the cycle of secrecy? We are at a crossroads. The images are out there, the videos are viral, and the questions are being asked by millions. This time the weather balloon explanation just won't fly. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive. The story in Panama is still developing, and we'll be watching it every step of the way. What do you think is happening? Is it a cover-up, a technological seizure, or something else? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Mysteries Within for more investigations into the unknown. Stay curious and we'll see you in the next one. What's up, everyone, and welcome back. If you've been anywhere online in the last few days, you've probably seen the photograph. No, not just seen it. You've been consumed by it. I'm talking about the photo that didn't just go viral, it became a cultural explosion. Within hours of its release, Reddit, Discord, and the deepest corners of Twitter erupted. Memes, complex theories, Grainy zoomed-in screenshots. They were everywhere. People were circling the suits, magnifying the background, desperate to find one detail everyone else missed. One thing was certain. The world was hooked. This wasn't just a local story anymore. Panama was now at the center of a global firestorm. And at the heart of it all? One man. Chin. Before this, Chin was a nobody, a ghost on the internet. Then, he uploaded some shaky footage of a strange black substance locked in a safe, and everything changed. His videos weren't polished Hollywood productions. They were raw, they were shaky, and that's what made them feel so terrifyingly real. The footage showed something that just shouldn't exist. A black goo-like substance, shifting in ways that defy physics. It seemed alive, pulsing, rippling, expanding as if it had its own heartbeat. Viewers swore they saw it twitch, stretch, or even try to crawl up the sides of its container. And Chin himself? He looked absolutely terrified. His voice trembled. His camera shook. He wasn't a showman trying to get views. He was a man who had stumbled upon something he couldn't explain. He was scared enough to lock it away, but reckless enough to share it with the world. And when you combine that kind of raw terror with visual evidence, you don't just spark curiosity, you ignite an obsession. Immediately, the skeptics came out in full force, lining up to debunk it. They screamed CGI, hoax, clickbait. Some dismissed Chin as just another internet opportunist trying to make a quick buck. But then, the hazmat photos surfaced. And suddenly, denial wasn't so easy. You can fake one man's video, but a team of anonymous figures in full biological protection gear, spotted in the exact same country where the alleged meteorite was found? That's much harder to dismiss. It was a chain reaction. Chin's footage was the spark, the hazmat photos became the accelerant, and now the fire is raging out of control. Back in Panama, local news outlets started reporting strange rumors. Witnesses whispered about unmarked trucks moving in the dead of night, mysterious convoys and security cordons popping up in neighborhoods without any explanation. Some locals even claimed to hear strange humming noises near facilities rumored to be housing the meteorite. Others spoke of seeing soldiers, but not in Panamanian uniforms, foreign ones, moving quietly, blending into the shadows. And what did the government say? Absolutely nothing. Not a word of confirmation, not a word of denial. Just complete and utter silence. And in that silence, the conspiracy theories grew louder and louder. The internet quickly divided into factions, each one more convinced than the last. The believers claimed Chin had found undeniable proof of alien life, and the hazmat teams were the cleanup crew for a massive cover-up. "They're coming to take it away," one viral post read. "And when they do, you'll never hear about it again." Then you have the technologists. They saw the black goo as something far more sinister, nanotechnology, straight out of a sci-fi nightmare. Self-replicating matter, a programmable material capable of building or destroying anything. To them, the hazmat suits weren't about biological infection, they were about containment. Even the skeptics found themselves cornered. Many had to admit, even if this was an elaborate hoax, it was too well coordinated to simply ignore. One hazmat sighting could be a coincidence, but two sightings, a week apart, in different regions of Panama, that's much harder to laugh away. The debate wasn't dying down. It was multiplying, branching off into dozens of new, terrifying theories. Inevitably, the comparisons to Roswell started. Commentators drew direct parallels between Chin-E's black goo and the strange metallic fragments supposedly recovered in New Mexico back in 1947. Both discoveries were followed by sudden, unexplained government intervention. Both involved anonymous teams appearing overnight. Both ended in official silence. As one journalist bluntly put it, Panama is becoming the Roswell of the 21st century. But there's a huge difference. This time the world is watching in real time. There's no 1947 news cycle, no waiting decades for deathbed confessions. This time, the evidence is immediate. It's visual. It's online. And that makes it infinitely harder to bury. And that's what created the biggest fear. It wasn't that the goo was dangerous. The greatest fear was that it would simply vanish. History has taught us that the extraordinary doesn't always get revealed. it gets erased. From UFO crashes to government leaks, the script is always the same. Initial chaos, official intervention, and then a deafening silence. People started watching Chin's uploads like hawks. Every second mattered. Every new video could be his last. His decision to lock the goo in a safe wasn't just for his own safety. It was a desperate attempt to buy time before forces beyond his control came knocking at his door. As the debates raged, a chilling new question started to spread across comment sections. Who really wants the goo? Some people insisted it was a coalition of world governments, working together under the guise of public safety. Others were convinced it was powerful corporations, scientific or military, desperate to get their hands on it and unlock its secrets. But a darker theory suggested it was a shadowy group, operating beyond the reach of any nation, with resources and agendas completely hidden from public view. Whoever they are, one thing is crystal clear. Those hazmat suits weren't there by accident. They had a mission, and we, the public, might never be told what it was. What began as simple online curiosity has now morphed into a full-blown, global obsession. Chin's followers are growing restless, anxious, desperate for answers. Is he still safe? Does he still have the goo? Or will the authorities silence him before he can reveal anything more? The stakes have completely shifted. This is no longer a question of whether the goo is alien or technological. It's become a question of survival, not just for Chin, not even for Panama, but for the truth itself. Because if history repeats itself, the fate of the black goo is already written. It will be taken, erased, and buried forever, unless someone or something stops it. This is a story that's unfolding right now, and we're going to be tracking every single development. What do you think is going on? Drop your theories in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because you are not going to want to miss our next update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.